Yo, what's up? Good morning. Yo, what's up, Cooler SK? Trying to make this quote-unquote soon a little bit quicker than it usually is. But okay, let's see. So today we're going to continue with the outlines behind an outlined object. And I think I hope we're going to finish it today and then continue with the blobs. It feels like we're so close. I just don't want to give up just yet. Yo, what's up, Coda Cube? We're really close. Now we just need to do some, so we can see here that the foreground object has outlines, the background object has outlines, but we don't refract them the correct way. Coda Cube, you will not believe what I'm watching this on right now. I don't know, is it weirder than yesterday? Sounds amazing. Yo, what's up, Derek? Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. We can actually see here that we have parts of the outlines actually appear in the correct place. Yeah, this is a little bit weird because yesterday when we did... Fuck, is it here we returned it? Return... Return outline data center .a. So here we return the depth of this. We can actually see that the outlines we have here should... I get it, I think we're gonna have to do something like this. We're just gonna have to write the... Yo, what's up, Jax? I think we're gonna have to... So this depth we write here into the... outline texture. I'm wondering why we are doing... So if outline 0, 0, then we do scene depth max, otherwise scene depth center. I wonder why we have scene depth center here. What I would like to have instead is 0. So let's return this and see how it looks. Definitely this. Definitely this. Yeah, we lose some outlines here, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with it. And outlines behind outlines, it's okay. Something like this, and this should be brighter, or I mean, this should be further away from the camera than this one. So let's see what happens now if we do this and disable. Like, why are we still getting... these outlines and this outline. Okay. Fuck. outline depth greater than pixel depth. Yes, if so, we're behind. This one and this one. Feels like we have a little bit of an issue here. Let's add a tiny offset here. Then we get more, but then we get this the correct way, but we also get more of this issue right here. And I guess we probably want to avoid this. If we add this issue, we're gonna lose the inner pixel here. Could also just take the step and finally say fuck it and just don't render outlines through an outlined transparent object. Let's do return if pixel outline depth is greater than pixel depth. So pretty much if the outline we're rendering is located further away from the camera than the object we're rendering, return 1, otherwise 0. Okay, so it's true for everything but our actual outlines. Is that it? Okay, so let's do if is equal to 0.0 ish, return 0.5. Okay, that's good. So look at this. This is pretty weird for me. So this one is further away from the camera than the monkey. And so is this and this, but not this. What the fuck? The weirdest part is actually this right here, I think. It's pretty much like... It makes no sense. The idea is that this one actually has the same... Okay, that's weird. Yeah, so how do we blend this one? Outline scene depth max, scene depth max. Yes. Yes. So yeah, of course. Okay, so we take the, when we do our kernel to calculate an outline, we check, so it's a 3x3 right now, or depending on thickness, I guess. Then we take, of those 9 pixels, we take the depth of the one closest to the camera, and that is going to be the depth of the outline, pretty much. I don't know if that's... Yeah, it has worked so far, but this time around, with this extra functionality we're aiming for here, it results in an artifact. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can give this around 1 more hour. If it isn't solved by then, we're just gonna move on with keeping it as so outlined transparent objects won't show outlines through them, if you know what I mean. And maybe we can revisit it sometimes in the future. I mean, once again, this is one of those like polishes, which I really care a lot about because I think it makes it special, but it's pretty insignificant, to be honest. But okay, let's see. Anything we can do here? Yes, I think maybe we can do, like, what it all comes down to is for an outline, like let's take this outline for instance, we need to keep track of what object does this outline actually belong to. So even though this outline is shown through another object, the outline itself actually belongs to the character behind it, right? But right now this one has a depth value that is equal to the object in front. Fuck, I don't think, yeah, we don't have the depth value of this one anymore. I think we override it. So yeah, we're pretty much fucked, I think. Like the only depth values we have available here within this one is from Suzanne here. Some of these are pretty weird, to be honest. But we will get rid of them if... Yeah, because what we could do is, if we just change... Let's disable this one. If we just change... Planned operation add 1 0, I think, and then we do, let's do 1 0 here as well. So we do it like this, and we no longer have any outlines whatsoever for this one. And we're good to go. So if we do it like this, what What's to stop us from like, do we really need to have yeah, this is probably the best way to do it, honestly. But if we do a blend 1-0, we just override whatever we have. Transparent. Yo, what's up, PG King? Good morning, good morning. Yeah, this is probably enough, honestly. One sec, do we distort outlines here? That would suck, though. Yeah, we just skip the outlines later on. Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. So currently we distort them, but we're gonna skip it soon enough. I think we're gonna go this way. The only thing I'm wondering now is, could we do it like this without having the new experimental outline? It is beautiful though with refracted outlines. Ah, fuck it. Could we achieve this result without the new experimental data pipeline? Like, what we're doing here is we're writing depth to our own texture, and we do it because enable, let's see here. Fuck, we got to the bottom of this yesterday. I just need to refresh my memory. So this is the data texture with the new way, and this is the new texture without it. And I mean, this looks okay. We have the correct depth testing. It's being rendered the correct way. So what's up with this then? what the fuck? If... Yes, okay, I see. It's because... It's because of... Is it because of this one? Probably not. Let's test. This looks okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I know. No. Yeah, it's because of this when we do this one, I reckon. Yes, it's the scene depth max. Fuck yeah. Okay. Now I remember. Because this one is not in the depth texture. Because if we're gonna do it without outlines, then I would like to do it with the default depth texture, because then we can go down to an RGBA 32 instead of an RGBA 64. And I think that's much better. But it's extremely frustrating that one sec. Ooh, maybe. If we do outlines render feature, and then we do, I don't remember what we have here. Let's disable this one this time before we change it. Outlines, outline data render pass, and we do render pass event. Fucking hell, let's change this one to render pass event after rendering takes, maybe. Because we have, this one should render to the depth. Oh fuck, should it? Maybe. But fuck yeah, if yes, if Suzanne renders to the depth texture, then we don't have any color here because we do depth testing and we don't draw anything. Okay, yeah. Same problem as yesterday. This is weird though. Maybe not. but I thought we put this one after drawing opaque objects. What the fuck? Why is it located before? Did I? Okay. My mistake. But then again, fucking with the depth texture like this, we're probably gonna screw up some other effects later down. Okay, here we have it. But I'm also, because the way we do it now means that our depth texture looks like this. It's probably okay actually. So the idea now is that we draw opaque objects first, and when all opaque objects are drawn, that's when we do outline data render pass. And maybe this is a fucked up way to do it, but we tell our outline we make it so that when these are rendered to this data texture, they also render to the depth texture. And that's why we get, so we have opaque objects looks like this, but our depth texture actually looks like this. It's a little bit of a hack, honestly. And then we create, okay, we create scene texture here. This one sucks. I didn't even notice this one. And it's not noticeable here, but if we do this, we get this. Okay. So even though it's a little bit of a hack, we're not entirely there just yet. Draw skybox. We probably want to do like this one. We want it after skybox, but then we're gonna get it after copy depth, I think. We can test. Yo, what's up, Flashbang? I was watching your video and thought, where have you been? Probably in an endless loop of perfectioning details. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing right this very moment. But welcome to the stream. Pidgey King, I failed my emote miserably, I just noticed. I understood it, and anyway, like my brain just filled it in automatically, you know. It's a little bit of a fighting here when after rendering skybox, if after rendering skybox was before copy depth, this would work beautifully. Maybe it is. We're gonna test it. That's why I'm doing this, but I don't think it is. Yeah. So if we do it after skybox is drawn, we get draw skybox, copy depth, and then we do this one. Fuck me. So how do I inject something? There has to be a way to get more control of when stuff is rendered in the universal render pipeline, as opposed to just using these enums, right? like I want to inject it between these two, but the current render pass event, does it exist another way to decide when a custom render pass is executed in the pipeline? Does it exist another way to decide when a custom render pass is executed in the pipeline instead of using... Is this correct English? Let's see if it can parse it. Like I would... I'm trying to think about... I created one to do. Why does it create a to do all the time? Anyway, like I'm trying to think about other issues that can appear by screwing with the depth texture like this. And the only thing that comes to mind right now is like things like AO or maybe depth of field or other post-processing effects that heavily relies on the depth texture. I don't know. Besides relying on render pass event, you can control when a pass runs by using a custom scriptable renderer using the render graph API directly, or by controlling and queuing order in add render passes. Ooh, so maybe can we do something in queue pass here? Add render passes. Render feature ordering. Custom scriptable renderer. Wanna avoid that. Custom scriptable renderer. Whoa, is this? Render graph. Build your passes with render graph. Add raster render pass, blit passes, and express dependencies attachments. The render graph determines ordering by dependencies, not render pass event. So you get precise ordering and lifetime control. Bitch King, that looks so technical, it's insane. Yeah, unfortunately, I think it is a bit too technical for me, honestly. Like, custom scriptable render or whatever, nah, I'm good. But this one, I don't even know if this is true. Build your passes with add raster render pass slash blit passes and express dependencies attachments. I think, like, how would I express a dependency to the depth texture in such a way that it... maybe if we called something with the skybox texture. But I don't know. Enqueue order, yeah, we enqueue some passes, but not, like, we don't enqueue copy depth. Give me an example. Like, what I would hope for the most is this one, but I'm very skeptical. Give me an example when precise ordering is done by defining dependencies attachments. But like if we could do renderer.mqpass this fucking to-do. I don't care about this to-do list. This shows the first raster passage writes an intermediate texture, then a second passage reads it. Yeah. Okay. Let me be more specific then. Is it possible to place a scriptable render pass after the skybox is rendered, but before the copy depth? What do we want to call it? What is this called more specifically? Copy depth pass list. Okay. Before the copy depth pass is executed. That's exactly what we want. If we can do that, then we're golden. Then we can go down to RGBA 32 instead. But I don't know. Hopefully. Short answer, yes. If we could decide when to do the copy depth, it would be amazing as well. Maybe we can ask that later on. Maybe that's possible. Like the problem here is that the copy depth has nothing to do with me, or I haven't defined it when it should be run, etc. It's the default in Unity. So otherwise I could have enqueued it before or changed the order of the render features. If URP inserts a copy depth pass at a point you cannot influence, it runs between skybox and where features are executed. Then you cannot reliably force ordering with only render pass and feature order options. Then implement a custom scriptable renderer. Yeah, okay, but it only works if you can make the copy pass depend on the resource, which you often cannot do in built-in internal passes. Yes. Modify the renderer asset reorder features so your feature runs before the... Yeah, but we can't do that either. I mean, maybe we could even do... What would happen if we do... So, what is the point of waiting with the... Oh yeah. So this one needs the depth texture. That's why we're doing it way later down the pipeline. I don't want to do scriptable renderer, custom scriptable renderer. Let's just see here. Fucking hell, can we access, could we do renderer dot, could we do like get pass by name, dispose, and qpass, I guess it's something similar we're gonna do if we do a custom scriptable renderer. Fuck yeah, are we screwing up the MSAA by playing around with the... maybe it doesn't matter. We're probably screwing the MSAA. Okay, this is... I really don't want to do this. What? Yeah, this is... I don't want to do this just for this. There has to be an easier way to do it. Let base handle built-in passes, only manually insert your outline passes. Yeah, but if we insert them like this, we don't get the result we want, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know if this is relevant. We can change this one to draw skybox. Oh, 2011, okay. Hmm. Okay, fuck. I don't really know how to approach this. Right between here is where we want to put it. Copy depth, native path was created from raster render graph. I mean, it definitely seems like we can do a custom scriptable renderer, but it feels weird. And QPath. After rendering skybox is equal to 400, could we get... So if we were to set it to, I don't know, 400 or 351, something like that. Can we even do that? We're gonna have to do it where it's being used, right? Hmm. Molgarax, by the way, what's up? Just last week I had the fun with the outline system using yours from the devlog 4 years ago as a guide. It's reassuring to see working on it still again, because they really are a headache. Indeed they are. We have done a lot of improvements since that video. For sure. Why, oh why, are we limited to these enums when we decide the rendering or the order of these render passes? And it also feels get core render pass. Scriptable renderer. Ooh. But it's only a get. Fuck, if we could get this one and just fucking reorder it a little bit, that would be beautiful. Oh, it would be amazing. I mean, so we do have it here. Active render pass queue. I guess we could. So a better solution, I guess, as opposed to this one here, is that we override scriptable renderer and we take this one and reorder it in QPass or something like that. It's weird. There has to be a better way to do this. But okay, that's one solution, I guess. Plan C, maybe. Luigi King trying to search on my own too. I have no clue what I'm looking at. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a little bit too deep for what I'm comfortable with. Or you know what? Probably not. Create scene texture pass. PG King, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, they're talking about these, I guess. Yeah, it's still limited to PG King. It's okay. You don't have to ask before you post a link. It's totally okay. But I think this leads us to the same issue we have. So they use this is a renderer feature that is available by default in Unity. It's a renderer feature that just renders specific objects, I think, but you can decide exactly when to render them. And yeah, they are rendered in, if they all have the same render pass event, they are rendered in the order they are added here. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happens? Yeah, the depth texture is probably okay, but yeah, I appreciate it, PG King. I appreciate it. I was wondering about this setting, which I noticed. Controls after which pass URP copies the scene depth. But if we do after transparency here, shouldn't it be... Copy depth is still after opaques here. Unfortunately. But it doesn't, does it? Draw transparent objects. Why doesn't this setting seem to do anything? Is it because we need to do forced? Nah, copy depth still here. Yeah, okay, I get it. There's a difference between this depth texture and this one, I think. I'm wondering. Mhm. Could we actually do... Okay, let's try one more thing. Depth texture mode after transparent. Outlines to texture mode. What if we do... Nah, we're gonna have to do this one before or after transparent objects. I think. PG King, random question: instead of using the enum, could you input a number between the two enums and you want to insert it? I wish I could. Like, without going too deep, or we have to define it as a render pass event, is my understanding, which is an enum. I wonder if we could do something. I wonder if you could do something like. Maybe we can do, which number is this one? 400, 351. So maybe, I wonder if we're gonna get some error if we do it like this. Yeah, so we get it but maybe we can I didn't even think this could work, so appreciate it for pushing me over the edge and actually trying it. I thought for sure this would result in an error, but 351 here puts it before draw skybox. But maybe if we do 375, or no, we want to do it after the skybox, right? After skybox, but before copy depth. So, fuck, if this works, it's appreciate it, PG King. So, let's see here. Dot. We want to put it after rendering skybox, which is 400. No, we don't want to put it after this, because if we set it to after rendering skybox, so 399. It's weird, yeah. Like. Yeah, I guess it depends on how it's like implemented. I wonder like how it's implemented behind the scenes. What I'm guessing is that you have something like execute all passes which has a render pass event less than So I think they do something like this before skybox. So execute every render pass event that has before rendering skybox. Then it does render skybox, copy depth, and then execute every render pass that has a render pass event that is after rendering skybox. And this one has a number of 350 and this one has one of 400. So having it as 399 doesn't really help us, unfortunately. Yeah, I think this is like hard coded or something like that, unfortunately. I honestly think it looks very similar to this, but sorted by event here, but I have no idea. Actually, I guess we can check it out. Maybe we can check it out by doing... maybe we can check it out by going to... Scriptable renderer, execute. Okay, isn't it called executing? Sort stable. And so here they sort them by rendering event, I guess. Where is this one called then? Add render pass. Okay, so could have worked, unfortunately didn't. Wishing that would have been a fun workaround. Yeah, indeed. It would have been so nice. Fucking hell, we should copy depth, copy depth. Can we find this one? Copy depth pass. Render pass. Copy depth pass. Yo. Can we see? But okay, we could be as crazy as this, I guess. Or could we? One sec. Copy depth. What do we need? Event copy depth shader. What is the... No references found. Yeah, I don't want to change anything here, but I guess it's just this line here. Altering this would probably... Yeah, I'm definitely... It wouldn't even change anything. We would have to recompile everything, but if we could decide this one right here, it would be fine. And render pass events are public, I think. Let's see. Yeah, both get and set public. So if we could just get possible to fetch a render scriptable render pass from the is it possible to fetch a specific scriptable render pass from the scriptable renderer in Unity? Like if we could just get the pass, change the render pass event, be on our merry ways. No. Okay, what fucks us, or fucks me, is this one renders the correct way, even after the copy depth. But the depth texture we use when we calculate the outlines here, so this one, this camera depth texture here, that's the weird one. Don't we have, I thought we could see yeah, I would like to see something like this here. I thought textures, maybe we can't. Yeah, textures, camera. Okay, I can't check them out, but this camera depth texture is this one. And we use this one, the depth here, quite extensively when we calculate the outlines, when we do the edge detection. And since this one doesn't have any, we get these instead. Pidgey King, it feels weird that you can control a little bit of the order, but not completely. Yeah, I agree. There's probably a valid reason why that's the case. And Pidgey King, I always felt like in code anything was possible. I still think it is, but we're gonna have to do some... It's gonna be too much work, I guess. Like, I mean, we could control the order entirely, but then we would have to implement our own renderer, right? We implement our own render, we define it here, and in our own render we but override execute. Okay. But this rendering path is for compatible mode only. But do we have something? Probably not. Yeah, this override execute here is a little bit weird. I don't think that's how it's executed anymore. But okay. Let's see. Can I come up with something else? Some other approach here? But does it work? Yeah, that's a good question. But like, if we start, like, I don't want to go back to using compatibility mode. That's like, they did a big rework of the render pipeline in Unity 6.0. And then they have this compatibility mode that is used for render features that are not yet redone for the new render system, but you still want them to temporarily work in your projects, basically. It's not for builds. Definitely not recommended for builds. Yeah, so when I updated to Unity 6, my old render feature outline still worked, but only through compatibility mode. Because, yeah. And then I had to rewrite it for the new system, and then I could disable the compatibility mode. But fuck this copy depth here. How very annoying. So the thing we want to do is like this one here, outline data render pass. We want to inject this one just between draw skybox and copy depth. Like if we could put it here, it would be beautiful. 1 sec, be right back real quick. Okay, back. Sorry about that. Such an annoying issue. And we had this working previously, but the way we made it work previously was that we we rendered the depth into the outline data texture, and then we just used that depth instead of the actual depth texture, which means that we could probably disable this one. I think it's force pre-pass. Oh yeah. Like, I hate running into these walls, where my only solution is to do something extremely big, a big rework. PG King, apparently there is a method you can overwrite called add render passes that could maybe help, but at this point I'm just swimming in the dark. Yeah, same here actually. There's a lot of walls. I feel them all over. So add render passes. We have render graph, add render passes here. Maybe... Could we... Could we control it here? Okay, I love that. This is maybe. So add raster render path. But don't know if you have any order or anything like that here. No, I think at the point where, now I'm just guessing, but at the point where this one is called, the order is already decided. I think. And right, yeah. Fucking hell. We're probably just gonna use this solution, honestly. Because this is exactly how we want it to look. And if we just handle the depth ourselves, it doesn't really matter when. Then we don't, I wonder if we can just do depth texture. Can we just disable the depth texture then? So we just create our own depth texture basically. I'll probably use it quite a lot in like water and stuff like that though. But you know what? I think I think I have it. Or what I'm gonna do. Maybe this is weird though. Okay, I have two solutions, or workarounds is maybe a better word for it. But so option number one is that we use this solution. So when we generate the outlines data, render texture, we render depth to the alpha channel. We pack normals into X and Y. So instead of X, Y, Z, we do it in X, Y. We take segment data that is in Z initially and we put it in Z. It's in alpha initially and we put it in Z, and then we use alpha for depth instead, which means that we don't need the depth texture. Or let's see here, would this solve it? Or we do, I just need to check this, disable, and we take this one and we don't do a depth texture, we enable copy depth. What does this one copy depth do? Render graph viewer, copy depth. Actually, let's play once. Oh, it's gonna look so fucking good eventually. I hope. But copy depth. I honestly need to read up on exactly what copy depth does, because the other solution, which I'm thinking about doing, is to just handle the depth texture creation myself, and so we don't store it in outline data like this solution, but instead we store it in a separate texture. So much like we actually handle the opaque texture ourselves with a scene texture pass here, we just have a depth texture pass as well. But it makes me wonder why camera depth texture, like what more does this one actually do? Draw transparent objects uses it. We probably want to keep this one. I'm gonna have to think about it. But like the end result should look like this, and I think it's gonna look beautiful. Okay, unfortunately I'm gonna have to cut today's stream 1 hour short because yeah, I need to run. But what we're gonna do is next week we're gonna use this solution from now on temporarily, so we can start focusing on. We can improve this one a little bit so it's more cell shaded, transparent, and then we can use it for our blobs. And I promise that next week we will start with the blob logic. PG King, that was one brain-racking stream though. Indeed it was. Like, at its core I do just want to develop a game, right? But like this graphical stuff and the pipeline and all of that, I love working with it and digging deep. A little bit disappointed that we don't have more control of exactly where we interject a pass, but there probably exists a very good reason for why we can't decide it like specifically. But yeah, we're gonna take this result, what we have here, we're gonna take this and we're gonna make a nice blob shader at the start of next week, and then we're gonna do some blob logic. But for now, I gotta run. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. PG King, probably a very good reason. Yeah, I think so as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend, and let's hope we get a productive next week. Gameplay productive. PG King, thank you for watching, and thank you all other people as well. Appreciate it. Have a good one.